Bitch, you better run a check. So tickety check yourself before you wreck yourself. So tickety check yourself before you wreck yourself. Come on and check yourself.
I guess the term ultimate watchtower activist rightfully belongs to Ray Franz if it belongs to anyone at all. He's the one that helped make sense of what's happened to us when we learned the truth about the truth. When we read Crisis of Conscience and In Search of Christian Freedom, we were able to connect the dots. John Cedars is not the first person to have pirated Ray Franz's work. Several years ago, there was a conversation on Jehovah'sWitnesses.com referring to posting links and downloads of Ray Franz's books. Now, I will post a link to this on the About section of this video, but we get to see Ray Franz's own words when it comes to the piracy of his work. He mentions that the bootlegging of his books has been an ongoing and very time-consuming issue that he's had to deal with. He refers to it as the stealing of his right to control the use of his work. Now read this screenshot very carefully and you'll get a good idea for just how Ray Franz felt on this subject. And keep in mind as well that this man's dying wishes were that his work was not going to be released into the public domain and that it was going to continue to carry a copyright and be published after his death. So what's happening here is John Cedars disrespecting the wishes of Ray Franz. Now, John Cedars can't convince me that he is ignorant as to how copyright law works. And yet, he makes this comment on YouTube saying that copyright laws apply to original work that is sold on for profit. And please pay attention here. He says that he is not selling this book and that he is giving it away. So in other words, he's alleging that copyright law just doesn't apply to him here because it's not something that he's selling for profit. He says he is not selling this book and he is giving it away. John Cedars continues to double down on this claim by saying he is not violating any copyright and he is only giving away a personal reproduction that was printed from a PDF from the public domain. He claims that he has tried contacting the rights holders, but as you can see for yourself, they seem to have no interest in making printed copies available themselves. I know for a fact, just because I know some things, I know for a fact that John Cedars never contacted the copyright holder. I know that he never went asking for permission to reprint this. And just because it's out of print at the moment doesn't give you the go-ahead to go ahead and start printing it yourself. That's not how copyright law works. This person said, hey, I know you meant well, but respect the work. And that's the issue here, is you got to respect the work. You're disrespecting Ray Franz when you're pirating his stuff. This person says, I'm not making any judgments on you or anything, but you might consider a retraction or an apology. We are better than this, man. Of course, John Cedars says, if you think I need to apologize, then I'm afraid you've been duped by propaganda from the evangelical wing of the movement. You don't understand the situation. And that leads me to my next point, is John Cedars starts to try to muddy the water, and he's throwing this strange red herring argument into the mix, saying that people are only after him because he's an atheist. Everybody hates him because he's an atheist, because just a bunch of meanie Christians out there that are picking on him. Eventually, though, we catch John Cedars backpedaling. He starts trying to pull Paul Grundy into this. He's the guy that runs JW Facts. Now, this is all in reference to the back cover of John's bootleg copy of Crisis of Conscience, where he has his JW Survey logo on there, but he also has JW Facts. And John Cedars tries to make this really strange argument, saying that if he needs to apologize, then so does Paul Grundy. But Paul Grundy didn't have anything to do with this, and this was John Cedars' pet project. So, in a second here, you're going to see just how slimy this whole thing is, and why I felt compelled to make these videos exposing this. Because John Cedars is lying to the XJW community, making money off of it, all while disrespecting Ray Franz and treating you guys like you're a bunch of idiots. Do yourself a favor and pause this and read this screenshot. John Cedars here says that basically this entire thing has been debunked, says that it's not his fault, and continues to throw Paul Grundy under the bus and muddy the water with the just being persecuted argument that he's pulling up here. But he continues to take absolutely zero responsibility for his actions here, saying that trying to pretend like everybody else is just crazy for having some sort of a problem with John Cedars illegally distributing and selling Ray Franz's work. It doesn't matter if he's selling it for profit or not for profit. It's still illegal what he's doing. It's really greasy. Now, after all of those comments, John Cedars eventually does admit that he is aware that he is in violation of copyright. He said that, "I didn't mean it isn't copyrighted, merely that it was being freely circulated in digital form online." So he talks about how singling him out for giving away is so ridiculous, and he said that at no point would he suggest that Crisis of Conscience isn't copyrighted. It certainly is. So why are you arguing with people on YouTube and berating them in the comments section, trying to make other people feel stupid when they're saying, "Hey, this is a copyright issue," and you're saying, "No, it's not. It's not a copyright issue." And everybody else is saying, "Wait a minute, no, yes, it is." And you're, "No, no, it's evangelicals. It's just an atheist attack. It's those mean Christians." What can I say, Mike? Mike's the one that threatened me. That's the real issue here. Everybody, look over here. Don't talk about the subject matter at hand. Let's just deflect. Let's change the subject. Oh no, and don't accuse me of Watchtower argumentation on this either, because you're just a jealous asshole. And then a couple of days after his original YouTube post giving it away, he has a blog post on JW's survey talking about the trouble with apostates. Now, I'm not going to do a line item refute of this blog post because I don't want to give any sort of legitimacy to his arguments here, because he's way out there in conspiracy land. John Cedars tries to muddy the water by turning this argument into some sort of feud between Mike and Kim. I saw him in the comment section say that people only cared that he was pirating Ray Franz's work because of their affiliations with Mike and Kim. It's ridiculous to the nth degree. It's interesting how he provides link to a screenshot of a cease and desist order that was ordering him to refrain from basically ever mentioning Mike and Kim on his website ever again, and yet you don't see a link to any sort of screenshots or any sort of evidence when he accuses them of labeling him as a sexual predator, a stalker, cyberbully, cult leader, blah, 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 and then taking a play right out of the Watchtower playbook. He labels people and starts trying to draw some sort of weird line in the sand, defining people, different kinds of, putting people into groups and labeling them, just like the Watchtower does. Now, you've seen it here, people. This is polarizing. This is designed to try to put people into different camps and pit people against each other. What kind of an activist are you? Oh, I'm a this or I'm a that. I'm a strategic. Oh, I'm more of an armchair activist. Oh, really? Oh, I'm an aggressive activist. Check out my megaphone. This is muddying the water. This is ridiculous. This blog posting is embarrassing. Whoever runs his website, I would be embarrassed if I was you to be affiliated with this guy at this point. There's no credibility at all. Oh, but we're just getting started. A few days ago, I was approached by somebody who used to support John Cedars. They supported John Cedars when he was trying to get his website off the ground, sent him money, and did everything they could to help promote JW's survey. Now, his opinion has shifted on John Cedars just a little bit, you could say. But this guy decided to do a little bit of sleuthing, and he got a hold of the email for the Romanian publisher and decided to send him an email. He was curious as to the size of the scope of this operation, and he opens it up by saying that he was referred to him by John Cedars and just wanted to know if he could buy several copies of Crisis of Conscience in English, and said he had at least 11 friends he wanted to give it to, and wanted to keep some more in hand in case someone needs some. So I think I'm going to need at least 20 copies if this is possible, and this is going to be shipped to the USA. Thanks. So this Romanian publisher writes him back and says, "Thank you for your interest. Of course, it is possible." Quotes him a cost of $200 for the books, $10 a piece, and says that the shipping would be about $120, and that he would let him know when it's in stock. Okay, fair enough. Digging a little bit deeper, because that's kind of interesting that, well, why aren't they in stock? Does it need to be special ordered? And this last email is the reason I made this video. This is why I felt compelled to expose this guy, because he's treating us like we're all a bunch of idiots. He's lying to all of us. He's lying to everyone. This email says, "Yes, I waited these 2 weeks since Cedars and I set this arrangement to see how many orders I get through the email. I'm printing these books on demand via digital printing service. I now have a sufficient quantity of orders for the books to be arriving on Tuesday." He says that he placed the print order today, and after that it takes about 2 calendar weeks to ship from Romania to the US. So John Cedars was far more involved in this situation than he was letting on. And to think that this is how he concludes his blog post, saying that for the record, I do not say there is anything wrong with my offering an unauthorized copy of Crisis of Conscience. I merely say that I'm not going to apologize or take any responsibility for it, and everybody can just stuff it because, this issue is between me and the copyright holder. The fact that I'm lying to the entire XGW community and making money off this is none of your concern. And if you want to continue complaining about this entire thing, you must also rebuke everyone, including Paul Grundy and Mike and Kim and everybody. No, man, this is wrong. This is an embarrassment, man. This is the face of someone who's become the embarrassment of the XJW community. James Lloyd Evans, you owe everybody an apology. You owe the XJW community an apology for lying to us while trying to make money off of us. You owe an apology to Mike and Kim. You owe an apology to Paul Grundy. And you owe an apology to Mark and Cora. And you also owe an apology to Ray Franz. This is so weak and pathetic. This is an embarrassment that you were pimping pirated publications on your website and you still think that there's nothing wrong with it, totally peachy, everything's great, everybody's just crazy for being against this, it's just a huge evangelical attack. Are you nuts? Do you think that we are that stupid? Is that what this is about?
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again.
Now this isn't an original, authentic copy.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
This is actually...
And I want to say this to the television audience.
I won't call it a bootleg.
Well, I'm not a crook.
I won't call it a bootleg.
I broke my back.
I won't call it a bootleg.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
It's been printed specially by my friend in Romania, and it has on the back the JW Survey logo.
Spinal.
See, when good things happen, it's true. And when bad things happen, it's true. And when good and bad things happen at the same time, that's your clearest proof that it's Jehovah, God's clean organization, requiring your obedient dedication. I went to the convention and saw the local news. Got smart and happy people, we're all getting rave reviews. The next day some reporter was calling us a cult. It's blatant persecution and I know it's Satan's fault. Cause when good things happen it's a truth, and when bad things happen it's a truth. And when good and bad things happen at the same time, that's the clearest proof that it's Jehovah, God's clean organization, requiring your obedient dedication. We've had some dodgy people, we've had some evil men, but God loved David and Solomon, he didn't get rid of them. But if the Catholic Church keeps pedophiles safe and secure, that means it's false religion, Satan's scarlet-coloured whore. Cause when good things happen it's a truth, and when bad things happen it's a truth. And when good and bad things happen at the same time, that's your clearest proof that it's Jehovah, God's clean organization, requiring your obedient dedication. Perhaps this logic can be used by any other creed, but I trust my lovely leaders, cause why would they lie to me? And when apostates tell me my evidence is not, I stick my head right in the sand and think some happy thought.